And then it turned out that my fight was with Shawn Michaels, which was like one of the
seen
most
the
famous
movie.
wrestlers in the world.
You fought with Shawn Michaels?
Well, the only bit of combat I have is me trying to strangle him to death with a garrote. Yeah, so I get on his back and I have a string around his neck. He's so strong. They're all obviously ripped. And I remember at one point he was like, "Can you ease up a little bit on that?" And I was like, I can't believe Shawn Michaels has just told me to just calm it with the garrote.
You are the coolest person.
No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the In the Lobby podcast. We have Iain.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest on today. Now, you're going to have to tell me how to say your name.
I know the first one is Anna, right?
Yeah.
I got that bit.
Smash that.
Yeah.
Smash that.
Now,
Thank
the second part feels like harder to say.
I want to hear your first interpretation of it.
Oh, God.
Let's go.
No, because then I came on your stream yesterday and you said it differently, and I was like, oh my God, I've been saying it wrong. I say Anna Demetriou.
Okay, go on.
I'd say Demetriou.
You both giving the same option?
Yeah.
You know what? It's hard to actually say what's right or wrong because in Greek it would be Demetriou, which would be correct.
Oh, cool.
The ooh.
Say that again?
Demetriou.
Oh, that's
Let's just say
that's
that
cool.
instead.
But I would say Anna Demetriou here. Like
Demetriou.
Demetriou.
Smashed it. Again, you were on it. With
So it's Greek descent, right?
Greek Cypriot, yeah, my half Greek Cypriot.
Sick.
Yeah.
What brought you to England?
While my grandparents moved, my dad is the Greek Cypriot one, but he was born here. So I guess what generation would you call that? But my dad is Greek, my mum's very English, hence this.
So Demetriou is like a Greek name.
Greek Cypriot. Yeah.
Oh, I never even thought about that, to be honest.
I'm always jealous of like surnames that pack a punch like that.
Pack a punch.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks I'm Russian. That always comes up. They're always
Really?
like, I get letters with Dimitriov and they change the U to a V. And I'm like, not quite.
I feel like you could do a banging Russian accent.
I can't actually. I've never tried. It's never come up.
Maybe one day you'll get cast into a game and
You
they'll
ever
be
played
like,
Metro?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Metro's great. Those accents I love.
Have you got a lot of Russian accents in that?
I think it's a bit of that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. There's Russian in there.
Yeah, there is Russian in that. It is Russian.
So you invited Anna in.
Yes. I need to finish my intro.
Oh.
I went off on a tangent there.
sorry.
So, Anna is officially the first guest. We keep getting pestered, like, guys, do you have anyone that would want to come on the podcast? Like, I'm very much reserved. I feel like I'm very shy when it comes to like asking people, hey, do you want to come on this like podcast that we do? Even though I'm so proud of it, I'm like, I don't want to bother people. But I raided Anna the other day and I was like, we should go out for brunch sometime. And then I was like, wait, I know. This is the perfect person to bring on the podcast.
If someone doesn't play Twitch, you saying I raided Anna the other day is such a funny phrase.
Yeah,
I remember
Okay.
trying to explain that
Actually-
to my family. I'm like, oh, so I got raided by, and they're like, pardon?
What do you mean?
What does that even mean?
That's a good point. Anna is now someone that I know through Twitch, and it was one of my community members that was like, hey, you should go raid this person today. And I was like,
So all of this is because of your one of these.
yeah.
What
Dills.
legends?
Dills.
Yeah, Dills.
Big up to
Dills was
Dills.
like,
Dills.
you should go raid Anna. And I was like, okay, cool. Here we go, we raid.
Oh, Dills.
And now every now and then we just kind of like raid each other.
Yeah.
And you're always playing very awesome games. So I think my
Random.
community probably appreciates that you do a lot of like RPGs and stuff. And you get into it. Whereas when I play an RPG, I'm bad at story games. I'm
Really?
very bad at story games, yeah.
You're more crafting competitive.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's just because I don't know, I'm not one for like lore in video games a lot of the time. I think I'm just someone that just likes to go on the game and like do things that I would do in real life, but in a video game. Apart from like,
Sims.
obviously if you're like playing a competitive game and you're like shooting people, I wouldn't do that. But I just like to get on and play survival games a lot of the time.
Whatever.
So I think, yeah, you're much better at the kind of story games. And we'll get into why that is, because Anna does voice acting.
And you're an actor as well, right? So
Yeah, the voice. I think nowadays, especially the gaming industry, as we know, like it makes more than music and film combined. It's like the way that games are being cast is just the same as film and television now. So most people that are in games are also just actors in general, not just gaming actors now. So that's how it came about for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, actor.
So did you start off? So tell us about how you like got into it, and did you start off wanting to like do voice acting for games, or was it kind of more so just like broad acting in general?
I always wanted to be an actor. One of those annoying kids that was always like, I just want to act. That was me. I'm pretty sure I was also one of those kids that was like, sit down and watch me do this. If I met that child now, I'd be like, I'm leaving the room. But yeah, I went to just audition for drama school, as you would to get your degree. Drama school and university is just quite slightly different. It's more, there's no written work at all, so it's just all practical. So I got into Lambda after like 3 tries. Drama school was really hard to get into. It was really hard.
I've heard that it's really hard to get into.
Yeah, I finally got into Lambda and then trained as an actor for 3 years, graduated. And then I did film for the first year. Actually, went straight into 2 films. First was an action movie. I led an action film that went on Netflix for 4 years. It was kind of crazy. That was my first job, and I was deer in headlights, had no idea what I was doing. And then, yeah, after a few other bits and bobs, games came up about 2 years into being a professional actor, and my agent was like, you don't have to do this, by the way, it's just a video game. And I was like, no, because I'd been playing games since I was 12. Yeah.
Right.
Never thought that would come up into my career. Never even thought it would touch the sides with anything like that. And I was like, no, oh my God, a game? Of course. Like, of course. They don't think it was taken as seriously back then. They were kind of like, it was a game. If you want to do it, cool, but no pressure. It wasn't like a Netflix show or something. And I was like, please, I would so love to. And it turned out it was for Dark Souls 3 at the time. I remember it. And it was, I think I was pretty close to playing one of the, what's her name? There's a boss with like a big, she's like a nun. Evil nun in Dark Souls 3.
You played Dark Souls?
Which one's the one that I've been playing on my PS5?
You said Demon Souls. Wait,
Demon Souls.
You played Demon Souls.
Oh yeah, there's Dark Souls and Demon Souls.
Yeah.
I haven't played a Souls game, so I don't know anything about Souls.
It gets really confusing.
It ruined my life for like 6 months. Really? But in the best way, like...
You were addicted to it.
You know the concept, right? Where you have to start again when you get...
Yeah, like Souls games are like very like hardcore. Like there's no like second chances with Souls.
You have to want the challenge, yeah.
Oh God, but I hated every second of it. But then like when I slayed a demon, it was like the greatest feeling in the world.
Well, that's what they say. It's like it's worth all the pain is worth that just euphoric moment when you do it. And you're chasing that high again and again and again.
That's it. You were actually, I don't know if the action film you're referring to is the one that you actually start. Well, you're in a movie with a guy who I regard as one of my favorite people of all time.
Oh,
the Marine 6, right?
Oh yeah, that was a different one. Yeah,
that's a different
another action film.
Shawn Michaels. What was he like?
He is so sweet.
So I grew up as a kid watching wrestling, right? Shawn Michaels in 96, 97, 98 was a wrestling idol. Like I used to go to school.
The Heartbreak Kid.
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Right? I used to go to school and pretend to be him all day. I would walk, talk, act like he was like super charismatic, like, and then he's
so likable as well.
He's super likable
about his character, because every wrestler kind of has a character that they've built, and his was just so likable, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you worked with him, and I think the Miz, Mike Mazarian was in that film as well, right?
Becky Lynch,
all like still at it now in one way or another, some capacity.
I remember that audition coming up, and I was like, wait, WWE do films? I didn't know they had, and there's like a chain of films that they do that feature their wrestlers. Yeah. And so Becky Lynch, The Miz, and Shawn were these kind of 3 main wrestlers that they featured in the Marine 6. And it was just like a part in this film. I had to just be American in it and just be bad and with a gun and stuff. And I was like, cool, it was fun. And then it turned out that my fight was with Shawn Michaels, which was like one of the most famous wrestlers in the world.
You fought with Shawn Michaels?
Well, the only bit of combat I have is me trying to strangle him to death with a garrote. Yeah, so I get on his back and I have a string around his neck. He's so strong. They're all obviously ripped. And I remember at one point he was like, can you ease up a little bit on that? And I was like, I can't believe Shawn Michaels has just told me to just calm it with the garrote.
You are the coolest person.
No.
I used to do a lot of like journalism, and I remember I randomly ended up in this situation where I was stood interviewing Shawn Michaels, and I said to him, Shawn, just so you know, like I grew up wanting to be you, blah blah blah, blah. And I don't fanboy that much. So like to then there's that, and then there's putting the man in a chokehold. There's levels. There's levels to this.
Still very brief moment. I just jump on his back, try and strangle him. He throws me off, and then I land on my back. Then I think that fight was a stunt double, so I didn't break my spine. But yeah, it was.
I was gonna say, I thought it sounds like there should have been some stunt doubles.
There's always a stunt double, thank God.
Yeah.
Where was this filmed? Out of curiosity.
That was filmed in the UK. It was actually in Chiltern Caves. There's like a cave. Because it was all underground. So there's like a cave you can go visit like a tourist. Yeah. And they've kind of sectioned that off for filming.
I'm gonna watch this.
I was gonna say, I'm not a big movie person. But I feel like I'm gonna have just because I
interesting.
I don't know. When I was younger, I did watch a lot of movies, but I think my attention span has just been like absolutely ruined.
Games
now.
ruins your attention span. I can't read a book because of games.
That too, and I think that's probably part of the reason that I'm so bad at lore. I think also that, and the fact that I think when you play games on stream, you're so conscious of people. Like, I think your community on Twitch is definitely. They know what to expect from you, and they know that you're into like RPGs and single player games. So they're okay to sit there and like read through all the dialogue with you and stuff like that. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, people are going to get bored. Let me like spam through all the dialogue.
There's this panic as a streamer, I think, you know, to not speak or like not have too many times of not speaking or not engaging. And I think, I was talking about this with my friend the other day. I was like, I think just some streamers have different focuses. There are very community focused streamers, there are very chat focused streamers, and there are very game focused streamers. And there's just people will just gravitate to whichever stream kind of suits them, I guess. But I think probably mine is more game focused.
Yeah. So they know.
So they know I'm going to be making sure I know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then other games, I'll be probably taking it less seriously and just be chatting to them more.
Yeah. I think there are definitely games I've played, like single player games, where the chat gets really hyped just because of like whatever's happening, and they'll be like, oh, you should do this or do this. And like they get really involved in it. And that makes me feel better because notoriously, before I started streaming, I don't think I'd ever completed a single player game, like ever.
What?
I was always like a multiplayer gamer. I never really played that many.
Shooters and stuff?
Yeah, like always like Call of Duty. Overwatch I've played for like the past 6 years continuously.
Played Overwatch once.
Have you?
I liked it.
Did you?
You
Yeah, I did. You look shocked. You're like, did you?
No, I mean,
Did you?
Did
No,
you really?
really-
Lying to please her.
there's certain games like Overwatch that I just look at and I'm like, it just looks a little bit too intense.
Like a lot going on. Everyone says that. If you don't play Overwatch and you try and watch it, you're like, what the hell is happening? Like, I don't really understand. Whereas story games, like, very much the opposite. Like, you can join in a story game and, like, you can progress along with the story. I feel like I have so much to ask and so much to cover. So I want to go back to, so you obviously started out acting.
Yes.
In what movie? So what was the movie on Netflix? Is it still on Netflix now? You said it was on there for like 4 years, right?
Yeah, there's like I think, I guess films have contracts with Netflix, I guess.
Probably.
I think it was on it's gone now, yeah. I think it took off maybe a year or two ago. Yeah. But it's on Prime.
A favourite movie that you've acted in so far?
Well, I've only done two, like feature films.
Oh, okay.
There is probably just those two. And the Viking one was a working title, Viking Destiny. It was a working title just to like placeholder.
Yeah.
And then America went, no, we really like that. I want that title. And I was like, oh. And so in America it's called Viking Destiny, and in the UK it's called Of Gods and Warriors.
Got it.
So it's got a different title in two places. Yeah, but that was I never thought I would lead a film ever, and I had red hair and a sword, and it was just so much fun to do that. So I think that will always have like a really nostalgic place in my heart as baby me.
You say that, oh yeah, I think I've only been in 2 or whatever. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure on actors, not just from the viewers, but like, I guess internally from yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need to do this next film or whatever. That it must be difficult to like stop and smell the roses and go, hold on a minute, I was in a feature film.
For sure.
Like, that's a dream come true for 99.9% of everybody else.
Totally. Like actually going, okay, I've actually done this, when I think the stats are wild for how many actors have another job, for example, like Twitch being my other job as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not many actors are just able to sustain themselves from just the second another job ends, they get another one. That job ends, they get another one. It's extremely the time frames would have to be insane to not ever have to do anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually going, oh my God, it's actually crazy that I've done this stuff, and appreciate those moments too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and not pressure that anymore.
I think it's such a good, like, segueing on from that, like I was going to say, most people have to have the downtime in between working different acting jobs and stuff. To be able to like have Twitch to fall back on is like such a good thing, not only because I love Twitch as like a job, like I literally wouldn't want to do anything else, and I would never be able to like complain about it as my job, but the fact that you can like play the games that you've voice acted in and be doing that as your like job, aside from doing voice acting as the actual job as well. Do you have a lot of people that have found your streams because they heard, oh, this is the voice actor that like streams on Twitch? Because there's a couple of voice actors that I've heard of from my community being like, oh, you should rate this person, they're a voice actor in this game and they're playing that game live on stream right now. Do you think you find like a lot of people find your streams that way, as in like they know that you voice acted in them?
That will segue into how I got started on Twitch in the first place.
Yeah, I want to know.
I told you that story?
Because your streams have been popping off recently.
Really?
I was raiding her yesterday, right? And I was like, I looked through all of my like list of people to raid, and I'm like, looking at all the people. I have it going in like order of viewers high to low, and someone was like, Anna's streaming. I was like, is she? Like scrolling, literally get all the way to the top, and there she's sitting on like 1,000 viewers. And
It's so like, I will say some of it depends. Sometimes it is me. Sometimes the UK front page pops me on every now and again.
Were you on front page yesterday?
Maybe. I don't know. If it's like 1.2 or something, that's often the front page. If it's around,
it's like 800,
sometimes.
900.
Okay, that was me then. Yeah.
Insane stuff.
Run it back. How did you get into streaming then?
So I think I remembered Sister Frida. There we go. That boss, that Dark Souls 3 boss.
Oh, nice.
I think I got pretty close to them considering me for that. And then they thought I sounded a bit too young because I was 23 maybe at that point. And they wanted this kind of like, low, deep, evil nun. And I was still young sounding a little bit. But they liked my voice. They brought me in for a game called Bravo Team, which was a VR shooter for PlayStation. I don't know if anyone's played that.
He's literally obsessed with VR for the PlayStation.
Play Bravo Team?
I haven't. I'm on PSVR 2 now.
It's
so.
got like the dotted, like the gun. So got like with the, so it takes the shooting as well from the VR. So you have to have the gun as well.
That's what he's been loving.
Yeah, I did the kind of main voice for that, where I guide the player through that game. And then that was my first game really, I guess. And then after that, it just kind of kept coming up. And
can I get a line from that game or not?
Bravo Team.
Yeah, can you give us one?
God, that was so long ago. I mean, if it was probably just sniper ahead constantly.
Was it just your voice?
Do you have to like bend your voice?
This is what I've got so many questions about voice acting. Right?
Okay,
so like voice acting. Okay, so to get booked for a voice acting job, number one, I imagine you've got to have just really good, strong vocal presence, right?
I guess, yeah. Or some characters are really shy and soft-spoken. Depends on what you sound like. It's just a sound, I guess, that is useful.
Do you ever get booked for voice acting where you manipulate your voice?
Much rarer than just how I sound now. I take my hat off to voice actors that can completely change. Like, it's such a different skill set and something that I've never really had to do, because most of the time I get booked because I sound just like this.
Yeah, 'cause I hear your voice, right? And I can imagine it in many different games.
Right? It's the weirdest thing. That's why it's so strange.
Yeah.
And like you'll probably get to a point where like you'll be able to hear a voice in a game and you're like, oh my God, it's like just it must be the weirdest thing in the world, like playing a character and you're hearing your own voice.
Yeah.
It was definitely weird the first time. Yeah, I just most of it is my voice just in an English accent or an American accent, and then sometimes I've had to do a bit of like a London it up a bit.
Oh yeah, listen, I never like to put someone on the spot like a performing monkey, but I do want to hear.
Just give her a line, I guess, like a.
Okay.
Oh God. The pressure. I can see you. You got your little dimples. I see them. They're like, what can I ruin their life with?
Oh.
But even when I just go in.
Do I want American? Do I want London? Do I want just straight up Anna? That's the question. That's what.
You're getting Anna for free right now.
That's it.
We need to be really paying for this.
Not to be stupid.
What if it was sniper rifle up ahead? How would you say that?
As me, or just in a game?
In a game.
Should I go closer to the microphone?
Yeah.
I can see her on the level, like ready to turn it down. What's the line?
It's like you can collect one. Let's just say sniper rifle up ahead.
Sniper rifle up ahead.
Bro, that was so weird. That was like a robot. That was completely different.
You try.
No!
I thought you had voiceover on your list today. Come on.
Okay, here's the thing.
You did have to record a voiceover today. That is true.
I do have to record a voiceover, yeah. I have people in my stream, I'm not trying to big myself up here in any way, but I have people that come to my stream and they're like, wow, you have such a nice voice. Like, I think
it's such an important thing for streamers to be listenable for 5 hours, sometimes even longer.
Yeah.
If you don't have a nice voice to listen to, I think it's a big asset for a streamer to have a nice voice.
Yeah, yeah. I have some people tell me that. I think I have too much vocal fry. That's my issue. Is like even just saying normal words, I can hear like it's like a lazy talking voice, I think. However, I've thought maybe I just let the ego of my stream get to my head a little bit. I was like, you know what? Maybe I would like to audition to like try and voice act or something, but I don't know if I would
Bloody do it.
I don't know if I'd be capable.
Bloody do it.
Yeah, I
Bloody
need your
do it.
help. I'll get in contact with you and you can show me the right
We'll
places.
get a voice drill done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
That
I'm
would
not
be
gonna.
a really
I'm,
good idea.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna keep asking you to do voiceovers. So
I feel like he is.
So what I want, no, that's it now. What I do want to do is I want to run it back even further. So like one thing I'm always fascinated by in anybody who works in like the gaming industry or, you know, within the sphere in general, when you first fell in love with video games, right? That must have been a pivotal point in your life because, you know, we can always reflect back on that moment as like, okay, I'm now an esports host or whatever because ultimately my mum got me an N64.
Yeah.
That was like the start of the journey. You know, what was the start of your gaming journey? When did you think, oh yeah, I'm a gamer?
I was a girl in amongst a lot of boys in my family. So my brother, my cousins, and they all were gamers. I started playing Crash Team Racing on the PS1. It was probably
Great
the first
game.
thing. Absolute classic. I could play that all. They kind of redid it. The Nitro Team. No. What's it called?
No,
It is, but they redid the whole thing, the same maps, just on PS5.
do you prefer that over Mario Kart? Yes. That's controversial, but do you know what? I
But
understand.
it's a copy, isn't it? They've copied Mario Kart.
Yeah, but like it was really cool. It was a really good
Oh,
game.
so good. So I played that nonstop with my brother. And then I think I got into Tomb Raiders, really. I think Tomb Raider was a huge thing for me to see. You know, the games didn't feel just for boys at that point when I was very young. I thought, oh my God, this is cool. Actually, that's someone that could look like me or could be me in my head, you know. And so Tomb Raider was huge. I loved the Just Cause series, actually, when I was younger, when the first Just Cause came out.
That's sick as well.
And then Mirror's Edge was cool. And I thought, oh, this stuff is really amazing. And yeah, I started getting into games just by myself after that. And then I just never stopped, probably from about 13.
Have you ever been like an online gamer, like multiplayer?
Very rarely.
Really?
Yeah,
It's weird
story
how
games are my
People
favorite.
are so different. Like your first ever like you love. I remember you telling the story about the first time you played like Call of Duty online or something, and
Yeah.
you just found it absolutely
It was
fascinating.
Gears of
Oh,
War.
Gears of War, that was it. Yeah.
Well, this kind of segues actually into how I got started on Twitch. I'm sorry, I know we keep going around, but
Oh yeah,
I did a lot. The whole thing that started Twitch was doing voices for a game called Star Citizen, and Star Citizen is an online sandbox like MMO.
Is it out yet?
That's a very difficult question to ask.
Because I feel like I remember my friend playing this game
don't answer
and they
that
were like, like they couldn't play it basically. They were trying to. So I don't know if it's actually out. If it's alpha,
It's got a lot of
playtest.
friendly bugs. You can't play it and expect it to be perfect because it's not
Right.
technically finished. But it's been
Right.
it's the world's biggest crowdfunder of all time. I think it's now at 500 million. It's been going for I think almost 10 years, and yeah, it's huge. It's just huge, but it's playable and people play it all the time. But it's like technically alpha,
Yeah.
maybe beta, alpha, beta, somewhere in
I
between.
don't even know
those.
what the difference is between like alpha, beta.
Yeah, they have
access.
like weekly videos and roadmaps, and they're updating their progress constantly. But it's a huge feat. It's like a no loading screens, literal space.
It's a massive
like,
game, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of a constant work in progress. But I just did some voices for this game. I'd never heard of it because I didn't have a gaming PC. I'm a console person. Through and
So
through.
that's where the 500 million went. On
There
your
we go.
watch.
It was on me. Yeah. Damn it.
No money left for the game, guys.
And then
Sorry, Karen.
no, I asked them if I could post a little video that they sent me of my mocap. So it was actually just a reference video. It was just to remind myself of what I sounded like. So before you go back in, if they've hired you for a couple of days and then months go by, they send you back your voice again to go, this is what you sounded like in this, just so you know, as a reference. And it just happened to be my mocap for it. And it was such a cool video because I saw myself with all the dots. And I was like, could I post that on like Twitter? That would be so cool. And they said, we'll go clear it for you. And it took 2 weeks for them to say yes. I didn't think they would say yes. So I just posted it. 60-second video, honestly, just 60 seconds of me in mocap on like Twitter and YouTube. I woke up and about 10,000 people had watched this 60-second clip over those two platforms. I had no idea what even Star Citizen was. It was just me going, I'm an actor doing games, fun.
Yeah.
And turned out this game had a huge fan base because it's crowdfunder, so it was huge.
But you didn't know that.
No idea. I never played it, seen it, nothing. And a streamer who was called Cobra TV, who was great, he said, could I interview you on my Twitch channel about what it's like working on that game? I didn't know what Twitch was. I was like, sure, dude, like, of course. And I went on his stream, I answered some questions, and he was like, we would all love to see you play it on Twitch sometime. You should play it. And I was like, I don't have a gaming PC. I don't know what this game is. Like, thank you so much, but I had no idea where to even start. And all of his community were like, we'll crowdfund it. And I was like, no way. I didn't know anyone. I wouldn't. It felt like such a strange gift to accept for people that I didn't never met, didn't know, very expensive thing to accept from strangers. Felt so counterintuitive to even consider it. So I was like, of course, I was like, thank you so much for even thinking of that, but no way. And I was getting messages again and again and again, DMs on Instagram, where's the crowd, where's the page? My laptop was blowing up at the time when I was trying to record playthroughs for YouTube on my laptop and a capture card. And I thought, okay, maybe just having this thing would be useful for recording, and also maybe I could just stream and give them back what they're asking for too, because it's not just me taking something, they're asking for streams.
Sure.
So I could say yes and then make sure I stream and give them the content, I guess, that they're asking for. So I was like, I very kind of uncomfortably said okay, and I got the crowdfunder up, and in 10 minutes they donated £1,100.
Well, it's not like...
I couldn't believe it.
What's cool about that is it's like... It's not like this thing that you've always wanted, and like you're taking advantage of a situation, and like, oh yeah, you're buying me a car, guys. It's like,
you're buying me a car.
You know, this is something
would
that
love
got
a
presented.
cruise.
PC sounds good, guys, but have you seen this dress? You know, it's like I really like that you've turned something that they wanted into something that mutually benefits everybody.
If I couldn't give back with that gift, it would have felt so strange to take it. It was so weird thinking of even doing it, because I thought, what? Like, how could I just so strange. And I didn't actually think anything would come of it, but they crowdfunded it, and then I just had this money, and I didn't know what a gaming PC was. So I went to another Star Citizen person on YouTube. He's called Board Gamer. He's on a big Star Citizen creator on YouTube. And I was like, could you build me a PC that would run this game? Because I don't know what to do, and I've got this money. And he went, yep. He sent me a link. I just bought whatever he told me to. The PC arrived, and I plugged it in, and I figured out what Twitch was, and I just went live, and there was 500 people in day one stream.
So sick.
And I didn't know that was a lot. At the time, I didn't know if that was not a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about Twitch.
Loads.
And it was
Your first
just
ever stream, that's crazy.
chaotic.
Fair stream. I mean, I was streaming I think my brother.
I wish in a way I'd had that more organic start, so I could have made more mistakes in front of less people. At the time, like I was constantly muted. My camera was awful. Like all the technological advancements you have to make as a streamer, I was doing that in front of quite a lot of people.
That makes it authentic though, right?
Yeah, well, I guess so, yeah. And you learn by doing, don't you? So I learned from literally being thrown in at the deep end, but we got partner in for 3 months, and then I was full-time.
What a sick story.
6 months.
Love
Crazy.
that.
All from you posting that clip. Imagine if you
Because
never
of that little
posted
clip. And if I
it.
didn't ask about posting it,
Yeah, because like...
Or if they said no. That's it.
Yeah, if they'd gone, no, don't.
Yeah.
Because do you think there's people that are like playing the game now that maybe haven't seen that clip, and they hear your voice and then they come and find your stream? Because I don't know how often it is that I like hear a voice in a game and I go and search up who is voice acting.
Well, some people just
that
don't
person.
care really who's voicing them. They're just there to play it, but they're not thinking about who's behind the voice. They're kind of like, but some people really like to know who is behind that sound.
It's so cool. Jeff Stizer is a guy who does the voice of God in the Halo franchise. And the guy who goes, double kill.
Oh yeah,
triple kill.
You can like hire him on like a cameo and
So
stuff.
I found him. This is exactly it. And on Christmas morning, because me and my brother are big Halo fans, I just like set it all up on the TV and stuff. And as he's up, my brother opens a present, there's nothing in it. And I say, look at the TV, and I press play, and he goes, hey there, Alexander. And he just
Did he lose his mind?
Oh, it was so good. And the video was like, only needed to be 30 seconds. This guy recorded for like 3 minutes, just saying all this cool stuff.
I've seen Christopher Judge once. He does them sometimes too.
Yeah, that is such a cool thing.
Yeah, it is.
Because I do search, like sometimes you hear something, you're like, who is that? I want to find out who that is.
Weirdly, I do that with, like, I don't watch a lot of anime, but for some reason it really intrigues me, like, to hear the person behind who voices certain anime characters.
Especially cartoon voices.
Yeah.
Because they don't feel human sometimes. There's such different sounds. You kind of go, who is able to do that?
Yeah.
Especially the Japanese voices, for some reason, like, there's this, like in Demon Slayer, there's this character, I actually can't even remember his name now, but he plays like a really whiny character. And the whole time he's like whining. And I was like, let me go find out who this is, because they're really annoying me. And through that, I just ended up like looking up everyone who plays all these different voices in anime. But in games, I've never really thought about it, to be honest.
After I finished Red Dead, my community got me, for my birthday, a cameo from Arthur Morgan's voice actor, and we both had the same star sign, and he was like my fellow Cancerian, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
I love that guy's voice.
He's amazing. He's so good.
That's one thing I need
so
to play.
good.
I need to play Red Dead this year.
Red Dead 2, jeez, I got lost in that game.
I haven't played it yet. I've got it purchased and ready to download. this year is going to be my year of like playing. You've inspired me. You've inspired me. Yeah, I definitely will. I got
that feeling. We all get this when whether it's like a TV show or a movie or like a video game that you've played to death, and it's like someone else is like, oh, I might start that now, and I'm like, I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, that you get to play it for the first time.
It's how I feel about The Last of Us. When someone plays, I've never played The Last of Us. I'm like, do it now.
Have you seen the series as well?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Absolutely obsessed.
Yeah. So
I never played The Last of Us 2. I played the first one, but then I was like, I'm really bad at like stealth in games. Like that's one thing that terrifies me more than horror.
I'm this close to leaving the room right now.
I know. Okay, I'll play Last of Us.
The Last of Us 2 is much more controversial than the first, and many people get angry about it. So I would be interested to see how you feel. It's my favourite one.
It's also much longer than the first one, I think. Right?
It's
and people, what put me
masterpiece.
off is people said there's more stealth in it than The Last of Us 1, and
I think
stealth
the
scares me so
you
much.
You can do stuff if you want. It's a bit like Plague Tale. Speaking of Plague Tale, but it's a bit like that. You can go stealthy if you want, or you can just go kill everyone.
Well, it's like on Resident Evil 4 that you've played. I'm currently playing it on PSVR 2. I spend not much time in the real world at the minute, to be honest.
It's nice that you're into VR. Not many people I know do or enjoy VR, so that's
He's an
so
avid advocate for...
I am now. I had it sort of
Does it make you feel sick? I get nauseous sometimes from it.
I even bought some... I bought some contact lenses. Well,
oh my God.
Lenses peripherals that sit on top of it, so I don't have to wear my glasses, so it's super immersive. But anyway.
I thought, can't you wear contact lenses? Do you not have contact lenses?
Yeah, but every time I play a PSVR, I can't just be like, I need to go put my contacts in. They're locked in.
Yeah. So now you've got your glasses mounted into your VR headset.
I didn't think about that, of course.
But when I'm playing Resident Evil 4, right, there's situations, as you'll be aware, where you can like be a bit more sneaky or whatever else. I just pull out my guns and I'm just like, bam, 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 bam. And I've got all these zombies running at me and I'm just like stabbing and shotgunning and all this. Like most games have the option to dodge the stealth and just go straight for the jugular.
I think that's why when there's stealth in a game, I usually play most games on like easy or medium, and most of the time if you're playing a game on easy or medium, you can just like run past most of the enemies.
Yeah.
True.
So anytime it's like, okay, approach this situation carefully and make your way past all the enemies, I'm just like, okay, bam, just bomb it down the middle. Don't care. Take all the shots.
So what I'm getting, I think, I know this is a podcast about me, but I'm getting from you that you're just impatient.
I think so.
Yeah?
I just think I get really scared by the thought of like someone
getting caught.
You're like, I don't want to read the stuff in games.
Someone
I don't know
chasing
the law.
after me, like the idea of like someone chasing after me or like having to sneak around and then be caught is so terrifying to me. I have no idea why that thing specifically scares me.
Do not
you played Alien Isolation then,
or
because
like
don't.
Assassin's Creed. Like Assassin's Creed is so stealthy as well, and I've never played Assassin's Creed. I just don't think I could cope with it. I just run.
Okay, you need to
guns blazing.
Do a community goal of Alien Isolation then, because that'd be hilarious.
Speaking of goals,
scary games.
I'm going to transition here.
Okay. Oh, segue.
So,
segue.
Thank you. So imagine that you could voice any character in gaming.
It's already been voiced.
Yeah, or like, let's say there's a sequel coming out and you think, I could do that. Like, because I think, for any profession, there is I think there's a lot of pressure on you to have a goal. Like, in my profession, people are like, oh, what do you want to do this year? And I'm like, I want to do more big stages, more big crowds, and host more events. But like, I don't necessarily have like that dream moment or anything. But I think because with voice acting, there are things out there where you could eye it up and be like, that'd be a character I'd like to voice, or that's a game that I would like to be in. Have you got any of those? Because
you've done some like big games. Like I don't even think we've talked about the games that you've actually voiced in. So before we answer that, let's talk us through the games that you have voiced in so far.
That I can talk about.
That you can talk about.
That I can talk about.
The ones that are
ready. I can rattle through some if you want. I'm on your wiki.
I'm on my wiki. Go for it.
Not IMDb.
I forget that I have a wiki.
You do have a wiki.
I don't know how those pop up. One day I just had one. I don't know how they happen.
So Bravo team.
Yes.
Once Upon a Crime in the West.
Little cute indie.
Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Now, that is the one that's on PSVR 2 as well. I know it is.
They've got like a DLC, like a VR DLC.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
I need to play it. I might hear you knocking about on that.
I probably won't be on the VR one. I'm a lot of the merchants and the drunk people and.
So you voice multiple characters, not just like one.
Depends. Sometimes you get cast as a named character, and then sometimes you're like additional voices. And Horizon was like additional voices. I'm your weapons merchant, potions merchant, and then someone drunk.
What's your drunk voice sound like?
Oh, I can't remember now. I had to shout things about losing my shoe and
Do you slay your words a little bit?
My voice would also spawn on a different NPC each time. So every single time I'd go to that place, my voice would be on a different drunk person. So I would be running around like the tavern, and it would just be a different someone's on the floor, or it would just be so funny working out which one I was.
Did they let you get actually drunk to voice it? Or
God, no! Imagine, no, that was like an afterthought.
So
all right, I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. When did you play someone called Sophia?
Oh, that's an easy one.
Plague Tale.
Plague Tale Requiem, yeah. That's a really good game. I still haven't. I think I'm like literally this much before the part that I meet your character in that.
I'm chapter 7, yeah.
And I still need to get around to it.
I've never played that game.
Good game.
Final Fantasy. You've done a Final Fantasy as well.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
So when you're asking like dream games that you would like to work in, Baldur's Gate literally won Game of the Year.
That's so crazy.
That was kind of crazy. I'm a very small cog in a very big machine in that game, but it was kind of crazy to be in Game of the Year, because that may never happen again, you know? Like, it was very crazy seeing how successful that game had done. I didn't know anything about Baldur's Gate either. I just did a few voices for them. That was also mocapped. And afterwards, didn't know much about it. And then I saw it all over buses, all over London. And I thought, wait, what? Because it's, again, not really the kind of game I play, top-down kind of turn-based thing. I've just not really played something like that before, and then I was like, oh, this is big. This is a big thing.
That's it wins Game of the Year.
Yeah. We touched on it earlier, didn't we, about like, you know, the importance of being present in the moment for like cool things like that.
Yeah.
I get the impression that you're like that. You soak it up when something
totally
big happens.
As a gamer and an actor and a streamer now, it's like they all feed each other now somehow. Like the more voices I do, the more people find my Twitch, and then the more I do on Twitch, the more people are aware of me as an actor. And it's like I feel so blessed by the whole cycle of what I've managed to get to. I think at this point, especially as an actor, I've had jobs you can't even imagine, like just doing any possible thing to support myself as an actor. Yeah. From telesales and like call centers and door to door and like bars and clubs and like all sorts of stuff that you just do to survive as an actor. You just have to. And then this is now just crazy to be in this position, especially when the gaming industry, I think out of all of the different media industries, is probably my favorite one.
It's funny that, isn't it? I think, you know, I work in like the broadcast side of things in gaming and in esports. And like people don't quite understand it if they're not truly immersed within it as well, of how big it is and how cool it is. Like there'll be people,
it's like a secret club. People don't really understand about it, do they? It's
like you could be doing, you could, if you were on Coronation Street, people would give you more props on a wider scale than if you were in like one of the biggest games of the year.
Than in Game of
and
the
it's
Year.
like, but the people that know.
Yeah.
You know
I could be in one massive feature film one time.
Yeah.
And not do anything for 5 years, versus all of the gaming accolades that I've accumulated over the last 5 years, and people would still think that film was more important. I still have like even family friends being like, when are you getting back to like the real acting?
That's it. That's it.
When are you going back to that thing?
Because you're killing it.
Are you still doing that gaming stuff? Or are you still when are you getting back to actually acting? And I'm like, no. This stuff is my bread and butter. Like, this is the coolest thing for me.
Yeah. People say to me, when are you going back to the radio? When are you going to do that drive time show again? I don't want to go back to the radio.
You're hosting like a major esports events in like different countries.
But they don't get it. It's like it's so weird. There's a divide there.
Totally. I think it will be like a generational thing though. Like I don't know, even because there's like, you have the younger generation now, but you still have the younger generation who don't know anything about gaming, like the TikTok generation. But then you do have like massive gamers as well, and like so many young kids getting into gaming now, and more so like esports. Now people know of like what esports is. They're like, I want to be a professional gamer for my living, which is so hard to do.
Yeah, 100%.
But do you think that you're now going to like, are you still applying for as many like acting roles as you are voice acting roles in gaming? Or
that's more, so I have an agent for acting, and so it's not more that you apply yourself really. It's like you get emails and calls going, we've put you up for this, and they've said yes. It's like, so the whole process of casting is that there will be a project. That project will go to an agency and go, we're looking for a redhead around this height with this kind of voice. Do you have anyone? And then the agency will go, we've got these 3, and then they will go this one, and then you have an audition. So it's like, that's how you have to get an audition in the first place, and then you have to get the audition, and then you have to get it. It's like, it's the whole thing. So I still audition for everything else. it's so funny. You get down to the final 2 for a lot of things, and you just go, but you just have to know that if you didn't get it, that's just not what you're meant to do, and that's fine.
Yeah, that must be tough. Do you think that's like hard to take? Because I've never like auditioned for anything before, like being in a movie or voice acting or anything. But like if you were to like not get picked all the time over someone else, that would play on my mental a little bit. I think it'd be like, oh God, what did I do wrong? Like, am I not good enough?
I think it comes down to, once you established enough and you've had levels of success, that it's not down to you.
Exactly. There's so much like specific preference and exactly what they need that it could just be like there was just one thing.
I heard really good advice from drama school actually before we left, and they said when you go into an audition, rather than having to prove that you can act, they know you can act because you wouldn't be in the room if you couldn't. Yeah. You wouldn't have an agent, you wouldn't have gone to drama school if you couldn't act. So you're just trying to just show them whether you could be right for that role, but it's not that you're not proving yourself that you can act. So I think it's such a nice thing to go into an audition and go, I know I can act. Yeah. Am I just right for what you're looking for? And you just show them what you can do with that script. And they either go, I like that interpretation of it, or we prefer someone else's interpretation of it. And that's not really within your control. And it's quite nice to just advocate responsibility for that and go, if I'm right, great. If I'm not, someone else is going to smash it more than me, and that's fine.
And I think having an agent like softens the blow a little bit, in the sense that like prior to having an agent, I'm sure it was the same for you, is that like you had to fight, scratch and claw for every crumb you eat and every opportunity you get. Whereas then you get an agent who like takes a lot of that pressure off, because they're the one who's shipping you out there a bit more.
And finding a good one that really supports
and
you
trust.
And stuff. Yeah, some agents are not cool, not as cool. And I'm really lucky to have like a great one that I trust, and it doesn't pressure you or make you feel bad for not getting something or not saying yes to something. Like I don't say yes to every audition either, because I don't think there's no point saying yes if you wouldn't want to do it in the first place. So I'll read something and go, this doesn't sound good to me, or I wouldn't want to put myself in that position for that role or something. And having someone that has your back with that, it's important to have a good team around you.
Are you ready for some survival mode? What do you think?
Yeah, we could do survival mode. First I want to quickly ask.
I'm so nervous about this. I don't know what
survival
it is.
mode is super easy, but before we jump into survival mode,
Fight Club.
I'm Shawn Michaels.
Where's the garrote?
Just because I want to know personally, I'm nosy. What do you see? What are like your next steps? Do you have any goals that you want to achieve in the next like couple of years? Anything you want to work more on? Like you obviously post loads of stuff on YouTube. You've been posting like all of your gameplays and stuff there. What do you see yourself wanting to like do more of, or are you just super happy with how everything's kind of working out at the moment?
It's hard as an actor or as a streamer. It's funny because they're both. They end up linking to each other. But I mean, I think this year, or either the end of this year or the beginning of next year, is going to mark one of the biggest things I'm going to do in gaming as an actor. So I'm very, very excited for that. Kind of nervous and trying to prep for it mentally and physically for that too. So that is something that's going to be a milestone, I think, for me. So I'm very excited for that. Streaming wise, I just feel lucky to even still be streaming. Like it's such a fickle platform, isn't it? I guess.
Killing it. How long? Wait, I don't think we discussed actually how long ago it was that they like crowdfunded that computer.
2020, May 2021. I was my first stream.
3 years in the game and you're already killing it. Sick.
You are absolutely killing it. Yeah.
I want to know what this thing is that's coming up.
Yeah.
Can't say, but
not on the podcast.
I can't.
No, it's okay.
But
that's cool.
Let's do survival mode. So basically, survival mode is where you have to think about the last game that you played, which I might know what that game is because I was watching your stream yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't even know.
You read it.
I did. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was. And then you have to imagine you wake up in that game, like you yourself. Yeah. Wake up in that game. How would you survive? Would you do well? Would you just?
What would you do?
Die.
Okay, disappointed that survival mode is not a fight to the death, but okay. The last game I was playing yesterday was Arkham City.
Ooh.
I'm alternating between Metal Gear Solid and Arkham at the moment. So I'm on day one of Arkham City, waking up in that. Oh God. It's literally the whole site. It's just where all the criminals live.
Yeah.
Oh God.
In Gotham. How would I survive? Just hide in a box, I think, until it's over. Yeah. That's probably hope for the best.
You know, the amount of people that say I would just hide until the very end is quite amazing.
What about like
go undercover?
Yeah.
Join them.
You kill a criminal.
Yes, take
their outfit,
take the wife beater, shave the head.
Shave the head. If you've got to survive, you've got to survive.
This hair doesn't look like a criminal, does it?
Nah, it doesn't.
I need some shave. It's like a pattern, you know, like they draw the pattern into the shaved head.
Yeah, shaved pattern.
Undercut.
I love that. Okay, so either hide in a box or shave your hair off. One of the two.
Yeah.
Either way, you're surviving.
Well, I want to know, because you've been playing a bit of VR Call of Duty.
Yes.
Oh my God.
How would you survive?
Well, so I'm playing.
Well, the thing is, you kind of are already
That's
in it.
what I'm saying. I'm doing some. So it's called Pavlov, right? I keep talking about this game on every podcast. I apologise if I'm talking about this again. Pavlov. So
Okay.
like it's like Call of Duty, but you're in it, and like you have to pick all your guns up and like reload as you would in real life, and
God.
it's crazy.
Pavlov reminds me of Pavlova.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
what I
like
thought
Pavlov's
every single
dog.
time I play it.
Pavlova.
Yeah,
It's a great thing.
but it's not as
Craving
nice as Pavlova.
Well, I would ask you how you would fare in it, but you're as
No,
much
I die all the
into
time.
game.
I die all the
okay,
time.
okay, so you wouldn't do well.
That's why I shoot my teammates, because it's easier targets.
Yeah, they're not attacking you. Is that
Yeah, they're not attacking me, so I've got more of a chance.
You heard it here first. Don't play.
don't
Pavlova with
Don't
you.
play.
Don't play games with me.
Don't
It
bother.
would just be a disaster.
Have you seen Call of Duty's done a collab with Walking Dead?
Have
They did
Serious?
they released that on Instagram yesterday, like a new Walking Dead map.
Oh,
so
sick.
cool! I'm so excited for that.
Walking Dead. I need to go back and watch that again.
I kind of
Classic.
gave up around like season 7, 8, I want to say, of The Walking Dead, because it just kept going on for a long time, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did you ever finish it?
Probably gone
Nah, I
past a
didn't.
little point now.
Yeah, I think
It was like Lost. Did you ever watch Lost?
Oh my God. Lost is like one of my favorite all-time memories. Me and my parents and my sister used to watch an episode every single week. We were living in France. And like, it was like, that was like our family time. It was like, it's Lost night. Everyone get down to the living room.
I need to
We'd
start
cut
that
up
then.
little sandwiches
Never
and
watched
triangles
it.
and cookies.
You know the
It was
concept?
best.
I guess they're stranded on an island, right?
Correct. They are lost.
But how
but
long
I
can
don't
you
know
be
if I
lost
would-
for? How
I don't
many
know if I'd
seasons can you
recommend
do
watching.
that?
Oh, it gets weird. It gets very
It
strange.
gets really, yeah, it got
Because
really weird.
it gets a bit like supernatural, and the ending.
I didn't like it at that
the
point.
No.
ending-
Whoa.
Have you finished?
No, but
You know what? It's been out
Spoilers.
for like 13,
Spoilers.
15 years at this point.
yeah, but
Ian.
that's like saying. Listen,
yes.
my
I'm
pet
not gonna
peeve
spoil it.
is spoilers.
Okay.
I remember once I went to work.
You're fired.
Yeah. So there was this one time. Sorry, we're meant to be wrapping up here, but I was watching Breaking Bad, and I was
Oh, one
working
of my
as
favorite shows.
working as a journalist in London, right? And I was staying in. I paid up front at this tiny little box hotel room, so I could just afford to stay here. And my only happiness was finishing a long shift, going into my little box room and watching Breaking Bad, right? And then I was one episode behind, and I go into the office, and the guy who I brought in for some freelance work, I was like, let me get you in. He comes in, he goes, can you believe that died last night? And I looked at him, right? And to this day, right? I just don't like him.
I wouldn't either after that.
He was a good mate of
That
mine
is
back in the day.
evil.
Anyway, Anna,
Axed.
tell us where we can find you online, whether that's Twitch, Instagram, you name it, whatever. Where can we get you?
I'm so boring. It's just my full name because I
You
think
might want to spell that, saying.
I know. I want it to be like a cool. You know how some people have cool names on Twitch, like they call themselves like,
Yeah, like an
Blaze,
alias.
or and I'm like, I could have a cool name, but I'm thinking if people find my Twitch through me being a voice actor, if they Google my name, it would be helpful if Twitch came up.
I think
Yeah.
So I'm just Anna Demetriou on Twitch, and funnily enough, no one's got that on Twitch, so it is Demetriou.
There we
Nice.
go.
You've been awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you for
Yeah, you're
coming
really cool.
on.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And everybody go, please follow Anna. Her Twitch is amazing. She plays lots of great games on there.
It's not that good.
Much better streamer than
not
me.
that
I'm going to watch the Marine 6 tonight. I'm just putting that out there.
Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.